to start thinking about how to attach an ear. So, of course, I have one servo, this one right here, which is already for one of the ears. As you can see, it's not connected to anything yet. And up here, I have to install another servo. Now, why do I have two holes? This is because I'm considering removing this guy altogether, because it's a little bit, let me show you, it's a little bit far away from the corner. And initially I put it here because I didn't want to put it up, simply because the way this works. Basically, the neck right here has a pivot point right here, which means that uh, the more weight I put on top and higher, and of course further away from that pivot point, is gonna put much more strain on my poor neck servos. Of course, this thing currently uh, stands up by itself. It doesn't require any power, but it's because it's really well balanced. If I really push it to one side, eventually you'll see it becomes easier and easier to try to topple. See? And that's because of all the weight. See, it moves by itself. And that's because of all the weight that is on top, especially from the eye mechanisms and all that. But seriously considering moving that servo up, even though it might add some strain, because I simply, even though it's a relatively good position to put a lever arm like one of these, it's simply a little bit too far, and I'm concerned about flexibility of the parts and all that. I don't want too much play between the servo and the lever arm and all of that. Another point I'm considering is installing, of course, two servos uh, here, uh, besides the one I have, of course, behind. Why? I want to have a servo here to actually actuate the eyebrows right around here on top of the eyes. But of course, it would have to be a little bit more in center with this beam right here, because that's the center, at least on the y-axis or x-axis, depending how you look at it. Uh, Basically, it has to be centered with this beam because that's where the eye is centered, so that it's in center with the rest of the eye. Or maybe I could make it off to one side and simply connect the eyebrow somewhere around here so that it has a movement like this. Or if I connect it in the middle, it would have a movement more like this. I don't know. There's a bunch of things to consider here. And yeah, the next thing we have to do is, of course, connect the mouth. Do something with the mouth because there's currently no mouth at all. Then I'm also considering, as I've said before in some shorts, to change part of this because the ratios of the levers are not optimal. Basically, a small movement of this servo means a lot of movement up here, and that's not good. I want the opposite. I want a lot of movement here means a little movement here, so that I don't really have to I don't really have sensitivity issues, because uh, this is really sensitive when the servo moves. As you can see, I'm not moving the servo all that much, but you can see a lot of movement from the neck. And in my opinion, that's not really great, because these servos might jitter a little bit and cause movements like these, which are not really that great. But yeah, that's some update, and I'm just playing around with the idea, putting multiple servos up here, but of course that's literally the furthest point away from the joint down here on the neck, and that's not optimal, as I just said before. So we'll see what I can do.